Can you guys hear that in the distance? It's the sound, it's 7:30 on the dot, and it's the sound of people clapping and hitting pots and pans on their balcony to cheer for the healthcare workers. Clearly I'm not out there right now, but I'm like right at the window, so maybe that counts. And I'm very appreciative of the frontline workers, not just healthcare workers. I know I said only healthcare workers, but the frontliners. And sometimes I like to go outside and just like receive the applause, which is pretty rude. Anyway, hi, I am Hannah. You are listening to Let's Talk People, a podcast about my messy musings as a trained counselor. And today I want to show you my accents. I have 2 accents. Check it out. I'm going to say a word in both of the accents so that you can hear the difference. And it might, anyway, okay, I'm just going to do it. Water, water, watermelon, watermelon, talk, talk, plant, plant, British or Canadian. It's weird, and I guess that wasn't like the best demonstration because it could sound like I'm doing 2 accents, but I'm actually not. I have 2 accents, which technically isn't surprising. I was born in England and we moved to Canada when I was 8 or 9, but the thing is that at this point, I don't really know which accent is the real me. So for the past couple of weeks recording these podcasts and hearing myself speak into the mic and like just listening to my voice when I edit, I keep hearing these like different versions of me, this British version and this Canadian version. And when I'm recording on the mic, like right now, I stutter over my accents. I kind of stumble around. Like it's to the point that I sometimes even avoid words that would make me commit. You know the words where you can actually hear an accent? I just avoid those words in daily life as much as I can, just so I never have to disclose this like internal accent war. And so I speak around them. I'll say like speak instead of talk or talk. Or like can we speak about that instead of can we talk about it? Or do you want to go out instead of do you want to go for a walk? It's crazy. It's so crazy. And it takes so much work. And I don't want to work that hard on this word, this like throwaway word that's going to be forgotten in the literal next second for everybody else except for me. I remember moving to Canada way back, and kids would ask me to say different words just so they could hear my accent. I mean, I feel like I even do that now when someone else has an accent. It's fun, right? And it was fun then too, but I was really shy. We would be like in a circle at class. So grade 8 or 9 is like grade 3, grade 4. And we'd be sitting in a circle for show and tell or something like that. And they would ask me to stand up and say like tomato or potato. And I really liked the attention. I wanted the attention. I've always loved attention, but I wanted it on different terms. Like I wanted attention by accident. Like it was incidental. Like, oh, whoops. Here it is. Wow. I didn't want it on purpose. And in this case, I wanted my accent to just go away because I was just afraid to stand out and to be seen as different. So, of course, this wasn't conscious at the time, but as a result of not wanting to stand out, I just kind of squashed my accent and I taught myself how to speak Canadian. And I don't even remember doing that. It just like happened. I just learned it like it was some like survival instinct. so that I would essentially become invisible, where no one could notice that I wasn't from here. No one could notice that I didn't fit. And it was fairly fine when I was growing up until my parents noticed, which, I remember that was such a huge stress. And it was part of the reason I did everything I could to keep my parents and my friends separate, keep my parents and outside life separate. I didn't want either of these groups, my family or outside of my family, to hear this other version of me. I didn't want my cover to be blown. And it's kind of sad to say that out loud. I feel sad for that little Hannah, And there was a time when I was really embarrassed about my double accents, and my family still calls me out on it, but not in a bad way. But it's just, I guess I mind less. The two worlds for me have just kind of blended. Or maybe I'm just a full-time actress. I don't know. But I've spoken in this Canadian accent for so long, it feels almost more natural than the British accent. It's the British accent is now this role I slip into, this act that I play. And so in this, the two worlds have kind of flipped, right? I started out British, and now my default's Canadian, and the lines between the two of them are so blurred and so blurry. And I'm kind of stuck somewhere in the middle. If you know me, you probably know that I love everything Dave Chappelle. And in his Mark Twain Prize Awards, which are on Netflix, by the way, Canadian Netflix, and they're really good. In it, he does a speech when he accepts his award, and he quotes Miles Davis, who he said, "It took me years to learn how to play like myself." And there's just something about that line. It just brings me to this halt. I feel it just centers me. It just has this weight that is this anchor. Okay, let me just say it for you again, because maybe you're going to feel it too, okay? It took me years to learn how to play like myself. Man, that line has just taken up so much space in my head since I heard it. I love it. It's this permission, it's just full permission to be smack in the middle of wherever it is that you are. British, Canadian, in the middle of both accents. Maybe instead of trying to be one accent or be the other accent or figure out which one is more me, I can just now be in the middle. The two worlds have collided, okay, and I don't need to pick one. I can just be British and Canadian, or Britadian, or Canadianish. I don't know. But instead of trying to go somewhere else, I can just be where I am. I'm gonna be where I'm at. I think that's from a movie, but it's fun to say. Anyway. And yeah, I like that, because I think it does take you years to learn how to just be yourself, be okay being yourself. And I think that's kind of cool. In the process, it's your self changes. So it's this ever happening or something. Cool, right? So that's it for today. Thanks for listening. I am on Instagram. I think I said this in the last episode, but we're working on it, on being more regular and posting there. It's so funny that that's a thing, be more regular, because that has to do with bowel movements, And I never miss one of those. Okay. TMI. Anyway, Find me on Instagram. And yeah, just be where you are, people. Have a good one.